Hello and welcome to video 1 for the vintage Christmas blanket pattern. I'm going to just talk with you real quick about the supplies that you're going to need to make this blanket with me. I am going to be making a smaller version of the full-size blanket. It's going to end up as a baby-size blanket in the video itself. However, if you have the written pattern, you can continue on with the full-size blanket because the part that I'm going to be putting in the video is actually just the first repeat, because the pattern itself continues to repeat for another like 1.5 times, so to make a larger blanket. So I'm just going to show you the baby size version so that we can get through all of the parts that you need to know, and then you can just continue on with the written pattern to finish out a larger adult size blanket. All right, so you are going to need yarn, first of all. The one I'm going to be using, and this is all from my stash, so it's looking really rough today. But my favorite yarn is, I love this yarn. It is a worsted weight acrylic yarn, and you can get it at Hobby Lobby. You are going to need 2 skeins of color A. You'll need 3 skeins of color B, whatever your color B is. I'm just showing you the colors I'm going to be using in this blanket. You're going to need 3 skeins of a color C. You'll need 2 skeins of a color D. And this is for the full-size blanket, not the baby blanket. And you're going to also need 3 skeins of a color E. Okay, so you're going to need 5 different colors in order to make the original. Now, whatever you put together, that's up to you. This is a great blanket for using up scraps. It is a great blanket for using whatever color scheme you want. Now, the original, if you are looking at the pattern at all, is a Christmas colored blanket. Now, I decided that I was going to make this sample out of different colors because the free pillow that goes along with the vintage Christmas blanket pattern is this vintage Christmas cushion cover. So it follows the same basic idea for the leaves on the front of the pillow. It has a granny square back, and it's got this lovely flap here. You can find that pattern free on my blog, and I will include a link for that in this video, in the comments for this video. But you can also find the videos for making that pillow here on YouTube. So the reason I went with these colors is to match the sample pillow that I made. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started. I'm going to start with my my teal color in the center. You can start with whatever color you like, obviously. And I just realized that I forgot to tell you all of the supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need a large eye needle so that you can tuck in your ends. You are going to need a number 7, 4.5 millimeter hook. That's the size I'm using. And you'll need a pair of scissors so you can cut off your colors, because we will be changing colors. All right, now I'm going to start the blanket pattern. All right, so I'm making a magic ring, which is just wrapping it over and then coming through and pulling it up. And then you just grab all of this stuff here so that it doesn't go anywhere. Sorry, grab my work. There we go. I think this is the first time I made this bugger. Okay, so we are going to make a chain 3. This does not count as our first double crochet in this. We are going to put 16 single crochets inside this loop here. So working around this little loop that we made, that will be the center of our, it's the same as, you know, chaining 4 and slip stitching to make a circle. The thing I like about this is that I can pull that center circle tighter than when you're doing the chain 4, because you can't pull that at all. And you're stuck with whatever hole you have. And I haven't been counting, so hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we got 5 more to go. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now the reason that I don't count that chain 3 as a stitch is because I don't like the gap that is made whenever you do use it as a double crochet and you slip stitch into the top chain. There's this tiny gap, and it's just a pet peeve of mine. So if you don't want to put 16 in there, you don't have to, but that's what I did, and that's why I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip over that chain 3 that I'm not counting as a double crochet, and I'm going to go into the loops of the next double crochet, and I am going to slip stitch, okay? And all I did was I just pulled on that extra string on the bottom of my magic ring to make that hole nice and tight in the center. All right, so we are going to be sticking with this color, so go ahead and chain 1. We're going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into the join space. Next up, we are going to single into 3. 1, 2, 3. So what we've done is we've taken those 16 single crochets and I've divided it into 4s, and now we are creating corners. So that chain 2 space is going to be your corner. And so we go single, chain 2, single, and then we're going to go into 3, and then single, chain 2, and single, and go into 3. So if you can tell, we've broken down 16 stitches into 4 stitches per side, and we're starting single, chain 2, single each side with a corner, and then 1, 2, and 3, and then we're slip stitching to the first single crochet we made, and you should have a little square. He's a little wonky right now, isn't he? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue to do single crochets in each of the single crochets going around. That includes our corner. So not including your chain 2 space, you're going to count each of the single crochets in between the chain 2 spaces, okay? So these, as your corner, all the stitches in between is considered a side. And so we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should have 5 single crochets per side. And then when we are moving forward, we're only going to be doing a single chain 2 single into each of the corners. So we're only going to be increasing each of our sides by 2 stitches. So the next time that we go through and we do singles, we should have 7 on this side. And the next time that we go through, we should have 9. And the next time through, we should have 11. Okay, so we're going to continue with this color. What I do is I slip stitch into the corner space, and I chain 1, and I start with my corner. I always start with my corner because it helps me know exactly where I start and stop every round. That way I don't have also a line jogging up through the center of my work of where I joined. Okay, so we have our corner in the corner. Now single into each of the singles. This is row number 3, or round number 3. And we should have 7 single crochets per side. So I started the corner, no, I'll finish it, chain 2, and then single. Okay. So between our chain 2 spaces is our side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's perfect. Go ahead and continue that on. We are going to do a total of 5 rows like this. This being 1, and then the rest of them being the single crochets. So 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? When we get to row 5, you should have 11 single crochets per side, and a total of 44 stitches in all if you want to count all the way around. I break things down into sides just because it's easier to, it's a lot of counting when you get to the end of a blanket. Watch when you get over to here that there is this little loop that happens when you slip stitch to a first single crochet, and it looks like a stitch. It's not a stitch. Actually, it's this guy down here. Okay, so when you're coming back through here, you're going to want a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to skip over this little loop space that happens when you join, and you're going to single crochet into the actual single crochet over here. So that's the only part that I want you to really watch for as you're coming around the mountain here, is that you don't add an extra stitch when you get to the side where you slip stitch to the first single crochet. All right. I'm going to let you go. I'll come back when we have row 5 completed. All right, I've completed through round 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went ahead and cut off my yarn because we are going to be switching colors. And I am going to be starting my next color in my chain 2 space in the corner. I am going to be using white in this next round. So going into my chain 2 space, we're going to be treating this much the same as how we did the corners. We're just going to chain 1, single, chain 2, and single. Our corners on this blanket are not going to change, just so you can get real confident in that. All right, now I should say not much. They might change a little bit in different later rows, but when we're doing these single crochet rows, they'll always be the same. All right, so we are going to be making a leaf in this row. And the first thing that we're going to do is single crochet into the first 4 stitches. We want this leaf to be placed in the center of this side, okay, so that it just falls right here. The leaf itself takes up 5 stitches in the space below, but on the row itself, it only takes up 3. So when we're counting our leaf later, when we're counting our row, we're going to count our leaf as 3 stitches. All right. So here's where we're going to start. We're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the space below where our last single crochet was made, and then down a row. Pull yarn through and pull up. Yarn over. We're going to go down and then over a row and pull up. Yarn over, go down and over a row, pull up, yarn over. And here's where we're going to be building our leaf going back up. So go up a row and over, and yarn over, and go up a row and over. Now we have all of these loops on here. We're going to yarn over, pull through all of them, and chain 2. That is our leaf. Now the way that we finish off our leaf, this is the last stitch of the leaf. We single crochet into the single crochet right there. Okay, so technically we have a leaf strand right underneath this single. We've got ones going down. We've got a strand underneath this single. There's no way to like really check unless you peel apart, but you've skipped 1, 2, and 3 stitches on the row behind. You should have a total of 3 stitches left on this side. And we do. So we're going to put a single into those. 2, skipping over that joined space and going into the next single. Okay. And then we're going to just real quick throw our corner in there so that we can look at this side together. Okay, so our stitches should kind of match up on each end. There is going to be possibly a spot later where there might be an extra one on one end, but not on the other. Those instances are fairly rare in this pattern. For the most part, it's very symmetrical in between. So we should have 4 stitches leading up our leaf and then 4 stitches leading away. And in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stitches for this side. All right, so when we go and do the next row, which I'm going to do it with you because I want you to see where the single crochets go into the leaf itself. But we're going to continue finishing off this round real quick so that we can get to that. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now let's do our leaf. Yarn over, go into the space below the last single crochet, yarn over, go down and over 1 to the left, yarn over, go down and to the left, yarn over. Now we're going to go up and to the left, yarn over, go up and to the left, yarn over, pull through all, chain 2, and then single crochet into the single right above that last leg. You've made a leaf. Now single in the last 3, 1, 2, 3. Now do your corner, single, chain 2, single. Now if you want to count that to make sure that you have what you need, the best time to count is always right after you've done it. That way, if you have to rip it out, you're not losing a whole lot of work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Yep, we're right on where we should be. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, yarn over, down, yarn over, down and over, yarn over, down and over, yarn over, up and over, and yarn over, up and over. Yarn over, pull through all, chain 2, and single. You're going to get very, very used to making these leaves, and they'll become second hat to you before long. All right, single, chain 2, and single. Sorry, I'm squishing up everything on. It's just my way of holding it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, down and over, yarn over, down and over, yarn over, up and over, yarn over, up and over, yarn over through all, chain 2, and into that single. Finish with the last 3 single crochets and slip stitch to your first single. Gotta make sure you grab the yarn before you pull it out. There we go. All right. So I'm just gonna flip my book down real quick so that you can see how that white looks on there. And sometimes you gotta kind of pull if your corner gets all squinched up, because I smash everything in my hand as I'm working on it, just because of the carpal tunnel in here. I just kind of have to hold everything in a ball. Just flatten it out, lay it out, make sure that your sides are straight, make sure you count each side. At this point, it's a really good idea to stay on top of your numbers. just in case that little sneaky extra slip stitch space messes you up. The reason I keep bringing that up is because that little spot is my nemesis in every single blanket. Inevitably, I end up adding a stitch somewhere and having to fix it later. So I'm just reminding you that it's there. That way, maybe you won't have to do the same thing that I end up having to do. But we're going to do 4 more rows of a single crochet now to create the next background spot for our next row of leaves. So each time we put a color on, we're going to create a background for the next color. So we're going to slip into our corner, chain 1, single, chain 2, single. All right, now single in every single, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, when we get to our leaf, this is where we're going to put our stitches. Into the first set of loops, this is where we pulled through all of our loops. And then this is the first chain of our chain 2. So we're going to use those loops and put a stitch in there. This is the second chain of our chain 2. We're just going to go into the opening that makes between the leaf and the next single crochet, and we're going to throw a stitch in there. And then we're going to go ahead and single into the remaining single crochets on this side, which should be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to put our corner in real quick. And then we're going to count this side. We should have 15. Ooh, I can't even see it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. That's our chain 2 to chain 2 side. I do one more of the sides with you. So that's in each of the single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a single into the first set of loops from pulling through all of these guys here, a single into the first chain, and a single into the space the second chain makes, and then the remainder of the singles on your side. Alrighty, I'm going to let you go ahead and finish up this round on your own. When we come back, I will get you started on the next one, and then I'll let you finish up all the way through the remaining single crochet rows. Alrighty, round 7 is done. I'm going to move on to round 8. This one is just going to be a single crochet row. Going to be very, very simple. Slip stitching into the corner, single, chain 2, and single. And literally, it is just single crochet in each stitch going around, making sure that you've got a single, chain 2, single in each of your corner spaces. So go ahead and at the end of round 9, cut this color. And following the instructions, we're going to start round 10 with a leaf. All right, so we're going to start this round in our corner, chain 1, single, chain 2, single, and then we're going to single into the first 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to go ahead and do our leaf. So below the first single crochet and down a row, and then down and over, then down and over, and then up and over, and up and over. Chain 2, and then single. All right, the instructions say to now single into 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, start your leaf, down and over, down and over, up and over, and then up and over. Through all of them, chain 2 and single. And then it says to single in the last 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And then do our corner, chain 2, single. All right, let's take a look at this row. For the most part, things are going to be quite symmetrical again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the leaf, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the leaf, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So on this round, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 stitches. When you go through the next row, which is where we're going to make sure that those 3 single crochets go across those stitches, you'll have a total of 23. So once again, we're back to building on our 2 stitches going up. All right, so this time I double checked the pattern, and we are going to be doing another, this is row 10, so 11, 12, 13, 14, another 4 rows after this one, like we were supposed to do here. For whatever reason, when I wrote the original pattern, I must have skipped putting in an extra row of single crochet, but we want to make sure we're following the pattern so that everything matches up when we get to the later rows. So I don't advise flying, solo and putting in an extra single crochet row of the white. Just let it be a shorter space, and you'll never see it once the blanket is coming together anyway. So now we're going to work, this is 10, like I said, and then 11, 12, 13, and 14 is going to be single crochet rows. I'll come back here after row 14. All right, so we're ready to start round 16. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29. So 29 stitches on this, on each of your sides. And we are going to start by making this is the next row is a leaf row. I'm going to be using this pink on there. Okay, we're going to start with the corner. Chain, single, 2 chains and a single. Then we are going to single crochet in the first 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and now we're going to do our leaf. So yarn over, go under, yarn over a row, yarn over, and up and over, and up and over. Okay, through all, chain 2, and finish off. Now we're going to single crochet into the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to start our next leaf. So go down and over, go down and over, go up and over, and go up and over. Pull all through and chain 2. Single in that last one. All right, single in 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to do our leaf again. down and over, down and over, up and over, and up and over. Chain 2, and in that last one. Now this should leave us with 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It does. All right, so once again, we're going to have that same symmetry going. Oh, let me finish this. Sorry. We're going to have that same basic symmetry going across. Tuck that in the back. 3 and 4, and the corner. All right, so with our corner over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In between, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so as long as you've got that, and 3 leaves, you're doing really well. Go ahead and turn your corner and do the same thing again. Single in 5, do a leaf. Remember, your leaf stops with that last. Single in 4, do a leaf. Single in 4, do a leaf, and then single in 4. All right, the instructions say to do the single in 4 leaf 3 times total. So just follow those instructions, and then your corners are once again going to be the single, chain 2 single. This will go through row 19. So this is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'll do another 4 rows of the single crochet above this, and I will come back when we're ready to switch over to round 20. Alrighty, I'm starting round 20, and this one is going to be changing up the pattern just a little bit. We're not going to be working on the leaf pattern anymore. We're going to be setting up our bobble section. So we are going to join in the corner chain 2 with a single and a chain 2 and a single. And from here, this round, we are going to be doing a back post single crochet in each of the stitches going around. So going from the back, pushing it forward, and then going back around the actual post of the stitch so that it looks like that. You're going to pull it all back through so that your stitch ends up on the back side of your work. And you're going to do that for every single crochet going across. It's actually a very easy stitch, and once you get your rhythm, it's just going to fly right off your hook from the back to the front to the back and pull through. Back post and front post are some of my favorite stitches, and the reason being is because they actually create a lot of texture in your blanket. What we're doing here is we're pushing this pink forward, so it's actually going to create a stripe of color and some extra texture in our blanket, kind of creating new sections, if you will. And the back post single crochet is perfect, or even a back post half double crochet, but we're working with a single right now, is perfect for if you're just looking to create a simple line of texture in your piece of work, because it doesn't really do anything different to the back of the work. It just creates something different on the front of the work. Alrighty, I'm going to continue this around. In each of my corners, I'm going to do my single crochet, chain 2, single crochet once again. And then every single one of my single crochets going around is going to receive this back post single crochet. All right, I'm going to let you go ahead and finish up this round. And when we come back, we're going to be changing our stitch again, not our color, just our stitch. All right, my last row is complete. Look at the cute little extra texture we've got on our blanket. We're going to slip stitch into the first chain 2 corner, and we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is going to count as a half double crochet and a chain 3 all together. So the first 2 chains are the half, the chain 3 is the chain 3. So we're going to half double crochet into that same space, And then we're going to half double crochet into each single crochet going across. So normal, we're not going to be back posting or front posting anything, just through the regular loops of your single crochet. Go ahead and half double crochet. And this is going to be the next 3 sides as well. When you get to your corner, you're going to half double crochet, chain 3, half double crochet, and then half double into all of the single crochets going across. When you get to this side, make sure that you join with the second chain of the chain 5. That'll be where our half double crochet would be. And then you can go ahead and cut this color because we are going to change over to a new one. Alrighty, so what we're actually going to be doing for the next 4 rows is we're going to be repeating these 2 rows 2 more times. So I'm going to be changing my color to the white, just because I feel like it keeps this nice and bright and fresh looking. I was going to do the turquoise, but I feel like it kind of makes it darker than I want it to be. So I'm going to stick with my white, and I'm going to do another row of the back post single crochet where I've got single, chain 2 single, and then I'm going to do another row of the half double crochet where I start with the chain 5 and then I half double crochet into the back posts all the way around. Same thing we just did on these last 2 rows. I'm going to do that 2 more times. I'm going to change to the white here, and then I'm going to go back to this gray because the bobble row is right after the 4th row that we're going to be putting on here. And I'm going to do my bobble rows in this gray color. So I'm going to, in my second changeover, I'm going right back to this gray. So I'm only going to put 1 alternate color in here. So it's going to go gray, white, and then gray again. You can do whatever you like, but this is just how I'm setting up mine so that my bobbles are the same color as this gray. Alrighty, so I'm going to let you go with the next 4 rows because they're exactly the same as these 2 rows that we just did here. And I will see you back here when I've got my other stripes on. Alrighty, we're starting round 26. I came back after all my striping was done. We're going to go ahead and slip stitch into this corner right away. And we're going to go back to our single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that chain 3 space. We're going to single into 5. Now don't forget that half double crochets have a tendency to throw their stitches to the right as opposed to the left. So don't forget what we call the hidden half double crochet. Make sure you go into that first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're going to do a 4 double crochet cluster. So that's yarn over, go into your loop, pull up, and pull through 2. Do that again 3 more times. So 1, yarn over, in, pull through 2, and 1 more time. Okay, so you should have 5 loops on your hook, pull through all, and now we're going to go back to single crocheting into the next. So kind of got to get everybody, this part to the front and the rest of this to the back, so that when you go and do your single crochet, that pops that whole cluster forward. We're going to go into the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to do 4 double crochet cluster again. 2, go through 2. This is 3, and this is 4. So you're acting like you're doing a double crochet 4 times. All right, and there we go, and push that forward. I usually try to get my hook kind of behind the cluster and then get into that next single so that everybody pops forward. However, if it does get to the back, you just stick your finger there and pop it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, because the instructions say to do the 4 double crochet cluster and then single crochet into 4 all the way over to the end. You're going to have an extra one on this end, so you'll single crochet also into the last. What I'll do is I'm going to finish working this side. You're going to do single crochet into 4 and then your 4 double crochet cluster across. I'll come back, we'll do this corner together, and then I'll let you finish this round by yourself. All right, so I wanted to show you, because I had a couple of my bobbles pop to the back. Just didn't get them in there tight enough. This is what you do when you pop them forward. I just bring them through and I kind of squeeze them so that they're just as bubbly and poppy as the other ones in my row. And I took this over to the last half double crochet. So I singled into 4, and then the last instructions are to single into the last of the side. And then you're going to do your corner, single, chain 2, and single. And you'll once again start with your hidden half double crochet and go into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to start over again with your 4 double crochet cluster here and across. So each row is going to be, or each round is, sorry, each side is going to be exactly like this last one here. All right, so I'm going to let you finish that up, slip stitch to the first single crochet when you get over here, and I'll be back for the next row. All right, we're moving on to round 27. We should have an entire round of bobbles on our blanket now. We are sticking with the same colors, so go ahead and, since I've slip stitched into the first single crochet, go into the chain 2 corner, and I want you to chain 2. That's going to count as a half double crochet going forward. And then we're going to do a half double, a chain 2, and 2 half doubles into our corner space. This round's going to be nice and simple. We're just going to be putting a half double crochet into every space going across. So into each of our single crochets. So that's going to be, I believe, 6 to begin with here before the first bobble. Let's just look. There's our corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Okay. So in the bobble itself, we're just going to work into the the 2 loops that it created when we pulled through all of those pieces at once. So we're just going to stick 1 half double crochet and still treat that as though it is 1 single stitch, and then go into the next 4. Whoops. 2, 3, and 4, and then once again just into these loops here, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then go ahead and just continue to repeat that process going across. It'll close all that in and make this a nice neat space around the bobble itself, so that all that really sticks out is your bobble. And then when you get over to each of your corners, make sure that you put 2 half double crochets, chain 2, and 2 half double crochets in each of your corners going forward, as far as this round is concerned. And then I'll be back here for the beginning of the next round so that we can get a good start on that as well. All right, I'm done with round 27. Going to slip stitch to the first chain 2, which counts as our half double crochet. And I know that we haven't really been keeping up with our counting, but make sure that you've got 57 stitches per side before going on, because we are going to be getting back into an area where counting is gonna matter, because we're going to do one more row of the leaf, and we have to make sure that our numbers are on for those. All right, so we're going to be doing single crochet in this round, and then after this round is over, we're going to be changing colors. So single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then once again, because we're starting with a half double crochet, make sure you don't miss that hidden half double crochet, which kind of gets stuck in the corner there. See how that part of the stitch gets covered up? Don't miss that. All right, so 1, 2, okay, keep on going. And so we'll be increasing by 2 stitches per side because of the single crochets. So make sure that once you're done with your single crochet row or round, you have 59 single crochet per side. All right, the pattern gives the entire count for the all the way around, but I like to kind of break it down by side just because it's easier for me to keep track of. So 59 stitches per side. And I'm going to meet you here when we're done with this round. Slip stitch to the first single crochet. Go ahead and cut off because, like I said, we're going to be changing colors again. Alrighty, we are going to continue on with, we're going to finish up on the opposite side of this with the same style of texturing that we did below it. So I'm going to go back to my white, and I'm going to go back to my back post single crochets. So start in your corner with your single, chain 2 single, and then we're going to go back to our back post single crochets around the single crochets going across here so that we can create the same look down here. All right, going from the back to the front around each of the posts of your single crochets. And now this is going to act exactly like the rows that we did down here. We're going to do a row of single crochet in the back post, and then we'll do a row of the half double crochet going around. And just make sure that you watch what the instructions tell you to do on the corners, because when we're doing the single crochet, we're going to be doing single, chain 2 single, and when we go into doing the half doubles, we're going to do half double, chain 3, half double. Okay, so I'm going to actually let you finish up the next 4 rows, because the next 4 are going to be these 2 sets of rows right here. Obviously I'm using white here. I'm going to go back to using gray right after this, and then this particular section will be completed, and we will start actually working back into putting 1 or 2 more rows of the leaves on so that we can expand it just a little bit before we do an edging on our baby blanket. All right, I'm not going to do the full blanket with you. Like I said at the beginning of the instructions, this is just a baby version. But it basically is going to give you all that you need to complete the large version. All right, so go ahead and complete these. I feel like after having worked these down here, you don't really need me to walk you through the ones up here because it's the exact same structure. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, I've completed through round 32, and as you can see, I've mirrored the gray and white up here as I did down here. And so what I'm going to do is start round 33, which means that I'm going to follow kind of the same pattern idea that I did with the blanket itself. And I'm going to take this color and start working in the opposite direction up here in the leaf section. However, I'm only going to do a pink section and then a gray section, and then I'm going to do the border because it's going to be big enough to be a baby blanket at that point. So that's where I'm going to be stopping. That will take us up through rounds 42. So we're going to be starting with 33, and then we're going to do 34, 35, 36, 37. So it's going to be 5 rows of regular single crochet here, basically just like we did setting up these rows here. Then after round 37, 38 is going to be a leaf row, and I will work with you on that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, I'll start it. I think you guys know how to do this already, but just chain 1 single, chain 2 and single into that chain 3 corner. And now this one, because we are finishing up the last of this texture, we are going to back post single crochet around this row only. So we'll back post single crochet on this one so that we can get the last of the gray to pop forward and be part of that texture. All right, now that we've completed our last row of back post single crochet, go ahead and do 4 rows of regular single crochet, remembering to put a single, 2 chains, a single in every corner. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, we are on round 38. I went ahead and finished up the remainder of the single crochet rows. We are going to start a leaf round, and this is the last of these that we are going to be doing for this pattern. After this, we're going to be putting on our edging, and I'm making this into a baby blanket. The link for the pattern is included in the description of this video. So if you want to find the rest of the pattern, you can find it there. So, all right, we've got our corner. We're going to go into 5. 1, 2, 4, and 5. And now we're going to do a leaf. So go down, down and over, down and over, up and over, and up and over. Chain 2 and finish off on that last single, or on the last leaf. Okay, single into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and make a leaf. This one's actually going to be really kind of simple because we're not matching this up with any other round that has leaves, so we're not trying to fit our leaves in between any of the others like we were doing down here. So this one should be a nice relaxed leaf row for you. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and leaf, down, down, up, and up. All right, keep doing this all the way over to the other side. I'll meet you at this corner. All right, we're over to the corner now, and the instructions say to single crochet into the last 4. That will match the other side as well. So we started with 5 and we're technically ending with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, go into the corner and start with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty, go ahead and complete your leaf row all the way around, and I'll meet back up with you when we start the next single crochet row. All right, our leaf row has been completed. Slip stitch to the first single crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch into the corner and start my corner again. Okay, so this is going to be just like the rows that we worked down here, where we worked into the leaf, the first chain and the second hole made from the chain. We're going to do that across this as well, and then we're going to do another 3 rows after that. So we'll have a total of 5 single crochet rows like we have here. So this is number 1, next row will be number 2, and then there'll be 3, 4, 5. Okay, so do a total of 4 rows of just single crochet starting with this next row. Okay, I will see you back here after you complete those 4 rows, and then we're going to move into our edging. Okay, so we are finally at the end of the leaf rows. We are going to be setting ourselves up to do the border on the edging of this blanket. We're going to go back to a procedure that we're very used to, which is going to be the single crochet row with back post single crochets to start with. So in our corner, we're going to start with a chain 1 and a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in that same spot, and then going around the entire blanket. It is going to be the same that we've been doing all along, where we back post single crocheted in and around each stitch going around. So this is going to set us up for the next row, which is going to be a half double crochet, which is what we do down here where we do the single and the half. We will not be doing another back post single crochet stitch, or row I should say, after this, because we've only got maybe 3 or 4 more rows to go after this in order to completely finish off the blanket. I'm going to be edging this with white. I'm going to be using the turquoise color from the center of the blanket as an accent color in here. like there is on the original blanket. And I'm doing that just so that I can bring that color from here to the outside of the blanket so that all of our colors have been used again. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, going around. Now remember, each of your corners is going to receive a single, a chain 2, and a single. And I will see you when I'm done with this round. All right, that round is completed. We are going to start the next round, which is going to be half double crochet all the way around into each stitch. We'll start with a chain 5, 3, 4, 5. Counts as your half double crochet and a chain 3 in the corner. We're going to finish that off with another half double in the corner. So when you do your corners on this round, it's going to be half double, chain 3, half double. And then from here on, just put a half double crochet into every single stitch going around. All right, go ahead and complete this round, and I'll see you when we get over here because I believe we're changing colors. Okay, so I've completed the half double crochet round, and I am now ready to work on the next 2 rows. The next 2 rows are going to be strictly single crochet, exactly the same as these single crochet rows here, where we have a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in the corner. I said that right? Single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. Yeah, okay. And then make sure that you, on these half double crochet rows, don't skip over that hidden half double crochet right there. But put a single in each, and then in the next row, put a single in each of the singles. So we're doing 2 rows of strictly single crochet. I'm going to stripe them. My next row is going to be the turquoise from the center of the blanket, and then my next row after that is going to be white again. But I just wanted to get us going on the next 2 rows, which are strictly single crochet. So go ahead and do those, and I will be back after the second row. All right, I had to tie in another skein, but we're going to continue on with white in this round. We are going to do kind of a seed stitch in this particular round. So I went ahead and slip stitched into that corner, did single, chain 2, single. This time we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip the first stitch, single crochet into the next, going all the way across in this color. Just chain 1, skip 1, single in the next. It's going to create this with spaces in between. We're going to come back through with another color that's actually going to highlight those spaces that are in there. Go ahead, finish up this round. After this round, you can cut off this color because we are moving back to your accent color here. Alrighty, we are now on to the second of the seed stitch rows, and we're using our accent color again. Now in this row, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did the row below. Chain 1, skip a single crochet, and this time we are singling into the chain 1 space that we made before. So chain 1, skip a single, single into the chain space, and continue that going across. And see how the single crochets help the chain spaces that we created in the row below to stand out. Now when we come back through, we only have 1 more row to do after this, and when we come back through and we're working on that row, these little single crochets here are going to just be little pops of color as we're going through. This is one of my favorite edgings, and this is the reason why, is because it's just very cute, and I like the little pops of color that it gives it. So go ahead and continue on with this round. All right, we are on the final round for the edging of our blanket. And we are going to join in a different space than normal. From the corner chain 2 space, we're going to go 1 space to the left, and that's where we're going to join with a chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in that same spot. All right, and now we are going to chain 1. So this is going to be a series of stitches that we're going to work going across, and you're going to end up with 2 corners that don't have the spike in it and 2 corners that do have the spike in it. So you're just going to keep working this all the way around, following the same pattern regardless of where the points land. Okay, so we have our single crochet, our chain 1, and now in the next chain 1 space we're going to double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to picot, and a picot stitch is a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you slip stitch into the first chain of that chain 3. And then we're going to chain 1 and double into that same space again. Chain 1, skip the next single crochet and single into the next space. All right, so this is going to be the peak that we're going to be making going around. So let's do that again. We're going to chain 1 and skip 1. Now double, chain 1, now picot. So that's chain 3, 2, 3, and slip stitch into the first of the chain 3, leaving that original chain 1 alone. And mine wants to split. There we go. Okay, slip stitch. Now chain 1 and double. Now chain 1 and skip and single. So chain 1. This row's a little putsy because it's got so much you have to do in one spot. So there's a lot of work you do in one spot and then you move on to the next. So it goes a little bit slower than our single crochet rows and stuff, but it's got such a pretty dynamic finish to it. All right, so double crochet, then chain 1, then chain 3, and picot. Slip stitch into that first of the chain 3, and then chain 1. Now double and chain 1. So basically in between everything there's a chain 1 and single into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1 and double, chain 1, picot, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the first and chain 1 and double and chain 1 and single. All right, so hopefully you get the repeat as it's going across. Alrighty, I'm gonna let you finish this up